Hi, this is Scott, and it has been about 6.5 months since my 4-level cervical artificial disc replacement surgery, and I'm doing pretty well. I am still happy that I had it done. And actually, just a couple weeks ago, I spent 4 days down in North Carolina on a 1,300-mile motorcycle ride with three other adventure motorcycle riders. We rode down to Deal's Gap, or Tail of the Dragon. If you're a motorcyclist, you'll know what I'm talking about. 318 turns or curves in 11 miles. So it's an awful lot of this, a big test of the neck. My scar is doing fantastic. My range of motion is very good. The only thing that I do find is that my neck gets tight, and sitting in the chair in poor computer programmer and office posture does not help. So I'm constantly trying to remind myself to sit upright and sit straight and keep my spine aligned. And oddly enough, sitting on the motorcycle is more comfortable than sitting in the car for me, and it's a lot more comfortable than sitting over there by my computer because the chair sucks and it hurts my leg and all that. Anyway, neck is doing pretty well. In fact, it's kind of the least of my problems now, which is great. I do still feel, tension and tightness that might be related to some osteophytes that have been left in there. Whenever they do the disc fusion, or not fusion, they do the replacement, is that they don't have enough room to get in and to access the foramen. If they go posteriorly, they can go in and they can grind out some of the osteophytes in the foramen. But if they go in anteriorly, which is a better approach, you don't cut muscles and stuff getting through. They don't have the room to get in and grind those out, as far as I understand. And they're pretty busy already to have 4 discs replaced. They've got their work cut out for them. So I may still have a very slight amount of tension. I don't feel radiculopathy. My hands are strong. My body works more or less how it should as a 49-year-old. But I do have an occasional headache. I do have tension headaches once in a while, and I get muscle tightness up around in my jaws. I don't know if that's because of my neck or just the nature of a computer job in a high-stress financial industry, and just my tendency to load my stress into my neck and my shoulders, which probably led to me needing to have my surgery to begin with. So many variables. Who knows, right? But I will say that I'm still, like I said, very delighted to have done the surgery. I enjoyed the heck out of that trip down in North Carolina. Just to speak a little bit more about it, again, 1,300 miles 1,300 miles traveling down in highway and back roads, and then riding some of the most incredible roads I've ever been on. And man, those turns on the Dragon are just, leaning in and leaning off. You build your technique. You've got to be on the ball. You've got to, you can't be afraid to turn your head because of some notch in your neck or some nerve that you're going to pinch. It's you've got death on either side of the road. Death if you cross the yellow line. Death if you go over the side of the road in some of those, unprotected turns. We rode dirt roads, and so I'm getting bounced around on the motorcycle, and up pretty steep hills of gravel and dirt and ruts, and all of that was just tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah.
I will admit to having some whiskey in the evenings, and each evening to medicate my muscles, mainly my legs and my knees, and my hips, and a torn piriformis and some that I had done weeks ago, not on the trip, and a squeezed sciatic nerve. If you've ever had that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a hell of a lot of pain. But the cool thing is that actually before the trip, a couple weeks before the trip, got a dog. She's here in the room. I don't know if she's going to hop up and introduce herself, but Olive is a shepherd corgi, and she's sweet. She's young. She likes to walk, and she takes me on 2 to 5 miles of walking every single day, and that is way more walking than I have ever done before, and on a consistent basis. And so it's really strengthening my legs and my back and stabilizing my back, and so that's all helping with those things. I think it also strengthens my neck as well because I'm, just out moving around. And now it's motorcycle season, so I'm out moving around and on the bike and mowing the lawn and things like that. So all of that's real good. I'm eating better these days. I'm eating kind of an anti-inflammatory diet, eating a lot of vegetables, lots of vegetables, and kale, and a lot of fruit. And did I say I'm eating a lot of vegetables? I'm eating a lot of vegetables and clean proteins, white meat, usually chicken, turkeys. Every once in a while, I have some red meats as well, just to keep going completely crazy. But all that's it seems to be helping. I'm also taking a bunch of vitamins, vitamin B, glucosamine. What? I mean, none of them are major. C. What's that other one? Magnesium for muscle tension or cramps. That's pretty much it. I feel my body feels like a 49-year-old. I turned 49 recently. However that's supposed to feel, but I definitely feel that I'm not 20 or 30 anymore. But like I said, my neck is doing really well. I do have still some tightness, especially this side. But gosh, range of motion, turning left and right and up and down, and I'm not easy on my neck now. All of the bone is fused up into the devices, and so all the craning and turning and twisting and motorcycling and stuff, I'm just acting as if I can have complete confidence on it. I am, by the way, riding with full gear, including a neck brace, an Atlas neck brace. There's another video review if you follow my channel. I did a review of the Atlas neck brace. I'm wearing that every single time I go out riding. Maybe it looks a little goofy, but I've had nobody ask me any questions about it. Not even positively, but certainly not negatively. And I don't care anyway, because if I were to ever biff it to hit my head against something, the helmet will press against the neck brace, that'll press against my shoulders, and it'll relieve the stress all being put onto my spinal column. Full, jacket and gloves and pants and boots, of course, as well, and like I said, helmet. But the neck brace, I think, was a good purchase, and I recommend that if you have these kinds of things and might want to protect your spine. I did want to convey that I had a couple weeks, actually more than a couple, probably close to 3 or 4 weeks, where I just felt really pretty awful. This was about 2 weeks after I'd done my previous video, was it a 4-month update? I had caught a cold or something, and I ended up pulling my left piriformis muscle, and there's something called piriformis syndrome, where it tightens up swells against your sciatic nerve. And my goodness, sciatic nerve pressure hurts like crazy. It makes your leg and your back and your glutes and your abductors and your adductors and your IT bands and your knees. It just makes everything hurt awfully. And that took several weeks, and I really got into kind of a negative space in my head there for a while, where everything hurt. Everything that I was doing, getting up, going to work, trying to walking her, everything hurt. And it just, if you're watching these videos, you're probably experiencing some level of chronic pain. And chronic pain just, it worms its way up inside your head, and it makes you frustrated and depressed and feel sorry for yourself, and you become discouraged. And I guess the reason why I'm conveying that is that although right now I feel really good, I feel super excited about more motorcycle trips that we're going to go on. I've got my tent all ready to go. I've got a canoe that I can get out in, go fishing. The weather's getting better here in Ohio. The dog's fantastic. I'm walking her, and all of that. But there have been times since my surgery where the rest of my body is kind of breaking down. Like my grandpa used to say, is that you get your ears fixed in your nose, something goes wrong with your nose, and seems to be the case as you get a little bit further on in years. But I think that's the nature of things, is that your body, everybody's body is different. If you have cervical or lumbar issues, any kind of spine issues, your own physiology and how the surgery will help and not help you are going to be very individual. I can only convey what's happening to me. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to be straightforward, hoping that that is helpful. But you're going to have to determine on your own how unique your own situation is and what kind of options you have and how much they cost, how far you have to travel, whether one form of surgery is really going to be measurably better, for you or not. I will still say that for me, I'm absolutely convinced that 3 to 4 levels to fuse that in your head, in your cervical region. I myself am glad that I did not do that. I'm glad that I went with artificial disc replacement. I'm glad I had Dr. Bernatoli and ProSpine do it. I wouldn't have spent that money any other way. But that's my case. That's my neck. That's how I use it and how I anticipate wanting to live my life. And I think it's paying off for me. But your mileage may vary. Your case is going to be different. I don't know what else I want to convey. Yeah, I told you what I'm eating. I told you the pills I'm taking, the vitamins. I told you about my motorcycle trip. I told you about my general health. I think I got it all covered. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. Just wanted to give you this 6-month update. I'll try to pop in again in another 6 months at the 9-month period. Let you know how I'm doing. And again at the 12-month. Then maybe I'll start to space it out a little bit more after that point. But anyway, just wanted to get you up to date. So hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. If you're watching these videos, you've probably got a situation, former or future surgery yourself, and I feel for you and wish you well. Do lots of research, get lots of opinions, take it very seriously, and be an advocate for yourself. Get your friends and family to be advocates for you as well. Medical system that we have here isn't that, I think, strong in the spinal care area, and you can't necessarily depend upon a coordinated set of caregivers in the U.S. to really figure this stuff out for you. You're going to have to do it. So best of luck to you. Hope this is helpful, and talk to you soon.